Welcome to the SC-300 Identity and Access Multi-Choice Question Practice Session. This interactive video will review core exam domains and strategic scenarios. Mastering authentication, directory synchronization, secure application delivery, and advanced identity governance is key to passing your SC-300 exam. Question 1. Your company uses a hybrid environment. Deleted on-premises Active Directory users must populate the cloud recycle bin and be purged after 30 days. Which synchronization configuration manages this process? The correct answer is A. Microsoft Entra Connect Cloud Sync. It manages provisioning and soft deletes users for 30 days, allowing recovery before hard deletion. Question 2. You need highly secure single sign-on, but company policy forbids storing password hashes in the cloud. Authentication must resolve dynamically against on-premises Active Directory without ADFS. Which method should you choose? The correct answer is B. Pass-through authentication, or PTA. PTA uses lightweight on-premises agents to handle authentication directly against Active Directory, avoiding password hashes in the cloud. Question 3. Which security module should you configure to evaluate behavioral signals and automatically force a user to complete MFA or reset their password? The correct answer is C. Microsoft Entra ID Protection. It tracks user and sign-in risk levels and can automate responses, such as requiring MFA or a password change for high-risk sign-ins. Question 4. Which passwordless authentication technology securely anchors cryptographically signed access credentials specifically to corporate laptop hardware using a TPM chip, enabling biometrics-first system access? The correct answer is B. Windows Hello for Business. It binds cryptographic keys to the device's trusted platform module chip, offering a highly secure, hardware-bound passwordless setup. Question 5. You need to block high-risk access attempts dynamically. Within a standard conditional access policy structure, which area evaluates real-time connection anomalies and threat levels during execution? The correct answer is C. Conditions. This part of the conditional access policy evaluates triggers and context, including user and sign-in risk levels, device state, and location metrics. Question 6. Administrators must use phishing-resistant methods like FIDO2 keys or Windows Hello for administrative operations, preventing SMS or OTP fallbacks. How should you implement this control? The correct answer is B. Configure authentication strengths within conditional access. This allows you to define specific MFA combinations, such as phishing-resistant methods only, for high-privilege operations. Question 7. You need to allow external users secure access to an on-premises legacy web application without a VPN, utilizing Kerberos Constrained Delegation (KCD). What architectural component is required on-premises? The correct answer is B. Microsoft Entra ID Application Proxy Connector. This lightweight agent on an internal Windows server establishes a secure outbound connection to the cloud service. It handles pre-authentication and translates cloud identities to local Kerberos tokens using KCD. Question 8. A developer needs to create an Azure web app that reads and writes keys in an Azure Key Vault. What is the most secure, credential-free authentication method to configure for the app? The correct answer is B. Microsoft Entra Managed Identity. This feature eliminates credential management overhead by having Entra ID manage the secrets internally, automatically authenticating the application for Azure services. Question 9. To request the global administrator role, users must provide a business justification and obtain approval from a designated security officer. What must be configured to enforce these requirements? The correct answer is B. PIIM role settings for the global administrator role. These settings govern activation constraints like MFA, justification requirements, and administrative approval workflows for privileged roles. Question 10. To automate employee onboarding, including sending a welcome email, provisioning access rights, and adding them to Microsoft Teams, what Entra ID governance tool should be used? The correct answer is C. Lifecycle Workflows Inside Identity Governance. This feature automates joiner-mover-leaver processes based on date-driven events, orchestrating tasks like provisioning and setting up communications. Question 11. When registering a custom web application, you needed to read the current user's profile and calendar without requiring global administrator consent. What permission scope should be requested? The correct answer is B. Delegated permissions. This allows the app to act on the signed-in user's behalf. For standard profile and calendar permissions, the user can grant consent themselves. Question 12. You must expose an on-premises legacy web app using Windows Integrated Authentication to external users securely over the Internet without a VPN. Which on-premises component is needed? The correct answer is B. Microsoft Entra ID Application Proxy Connector. It manages the secure outbound connection to Entra ID and uses Kerberos-constrained delegation to pass local authentication tickets to the on-premises application. Question 13. You register a SaaS application and must ensure only specifically assigned users can sign in, blocking unassigned users before they reach authentication prompts. Which setting enforces this? The correct answer is B, set assignment required to yes. This acts as an initial access gate, preventing Entra ID from issuing a token to any user not explicitly assigned to the application. Question 14. A development team is building an Azure App Service API that needs to securely authenticate against Azure Key Vault. What is the most secure method without storing any secrets or certificates in code or configuration files? The most secure configuration is B, managed identity, either system-assigned or user-assigned. This automatically grants the app service a securely managed identity in Entra ID, removing the need for explicit credentials. Question 15. When configuring SAML 2.0 SSO for a non-gallery application, which attribute from Entra ID must you download or copy to establish trust with the third-party application? The correct answer is B, App Federation Metadata URL or Certificate. This metadata provides the cryptographic keys and endpoint information necessary for the receiving application to trust tokens signed by Entra ID. Question 16. When deploying privileged identity management, you need to require a business ticket reference and security administrator approval before a user can activate the global administrator role. What should you modify? The correct answer is B, PIIM role settings for the global administrator role. These settings control activation requirements like justification, ticket reference fields, and required approval from specified users or groups. Question 17. Compliance demands guest account access to financial folders be reviewed every 30 days. If the reviewer or guest fails to respond, access must be immediately revoked. Which feature enables this automation? The correct answer is B, Entra ID access reviews. This feature automates periodic review campaigns and can be configured to automatically remove access if reviewers do not respond by the deadline. Question 18. An engineering lead needs a single self-service workflow for contractors to request bundled access to a Microsoft team, 3 enterprise applications, and a SharePoint site. What should be created? The correct answer is B, an access package in entitlement management. Access packages bundle various resource roles, providing a consolidated workflow for users to request multiple resource permissions simultaneously. Question 19. You are setting up an access package for contractors, ensuring access automatically expires after 180 days, requiring an extension request. Where do you configure this lifecycle setting? The correct answer is B, the lifecycle settings within the access package policy. This policy area dictates assignment duration, renewal requirements, and other access lifetime parameters. Question 20. When a new employee's start date syncs from HR to Entra ID, you want a system to automatically generate a temporary access pass, email the manager, and add the user to onboarding groups. Which tool manages this sequence? The correct answer is B, Lifecycle Workflows in Entra ID Governance. This automates multi-step processes triggered by identity lifecycle events, such as user creation or attribute changes. Congratulations, Part 2 is complete. You have successfully evaluated topics related to secure applications and identity governance for the SC-300 exam. Continue to Part 3 to tackle topics on monitoring, real-time enforcements, and hybrid synchronization migrations. Welcome to the final comprehensive segment reviewing directory monitoring, sync architecture, password protection, and minimum privilege compliance reporting. Q21. A user was blocked from signing in. To investigate which conditional access policies were evaluated and why the sign-in failed, which resource should you consult? The correct answer is B, Sign-in logs in Microsoft Entra ID. Selecting a sign-in event opens the Conditional Access tab, detailing every evaluated policy and its result to pinpoint the exact conditions for the block. Q22. Your organization needs to monitor structural modifications in the tenant, such as new users, modified group memberships, or conditional access policy changes. Which interface provides this information? The correct answer is B, Audit Logs Registry. Audit logs track tenant configuration changes, identifying the actor, target resource, and modification details, which is distinct from sign-in logs that monitor connection traffic. Q23. An engineer triggers an eligible contributor role in PIM for an urgent fix. What is the standard maximum lifetime duration for this active session before it automatically expires if left uncustomized? The correct answer is B, 8 hours. By default, PIII new role activation sessions have an 8-hour maximum limit, aligning with standard working shifts, although global administrators can customize this setting. Q24. to prevent users from creating guessable passwords that reference company names or known terms. Which service allows you to implement a global list of forbidden words across Entra ID? The correct answer is B, Microsoft Entra Password Protection. This service evaluates passwords against both a global and a custom banned password list to restrict insecure and brand-specific terms during registration or reset. Q25. When migrating from traditional Microsoft Entra Connect to Cloud Sync, which of the following describes a key architectural change introduced by Cloud Sync? The correct answer is B, offloads the main sync rules engine to the cloud service. Cloud Sync uses lightweight agents and offloads the sync engine processing to the cloud, minimizing local dependencies and supporting multi-forest environments. Q26. Your security team needs MFA for sign-ins from anomalous geographic locations or unfamiliar IP ranges, but not for users connecting from trusted headquarters IPs. Which risk metric should you configure? The correct answer is B, Sign-in Risk Level Policy. Sign-in risk tracks the likelihood of unauthorized login attempts, analyzing signals like impossible travel and unfamiliar IPs, allowing for automated step-up MFA for anomalous logins. Q27. To ensure that active access tokens are revoked in near real time upon critical security events, such as a disabled account or shifting IP address, which mechanism manages this? The correct answer is B, Continuous Access Evaluation, CAE. CAE provides real-time policy evaluation and triggers immediate token revocation upon critical events, bypassing standard token lifetime limits. Q28. You must grant an analyst permissions to read audit and sign-in logs for compliance across the Entra ID tenant with the lowest possible administrative privileges and no configuration changeability. Which role should you assign? The correct answer is D, Reports Reader. This is the least privileged role that specifically provides query permissions for a tenant's full sign-in and audit logs, meeting the requirement without granting wider access. Q29. When configuring directory integration inside a hybrid environment, which attribute uniquely binds on-premises Active Directory objects, like users, with their respective cloud representation in Microsoft Entra ID, the correct answer is B, Source Anchor Attribute or Immutable ID. This serves as a unique, unchanging key that links on-premises objects with their cloud counterparts, ensuring correct mapping even if usernames are renamed. Q30. Your legal department requires all external guest users to accept a non-disclosure agreement before they can access corporate resources. What mechanism allows you to enforce this interaction natively? The correct answer is B, Microsoft Entra Terms of Use integrated with Conditional Access. This allows you to deliver PDF documents for review and acceptance, blocking resource access until accepted during login. Q31. You are designing an emergency access strategy, break glass, for your Microsoft Entra tenant to prevent lockout during an outage. Which configuration is a recommended best practice? The correct answer is B, exclude them explicitly from all conditional access policies. These accounts should be cloud-only and excluded from CA policies to guarantee access if services fail. Access should be constantly monitored. You have completed all questions. Mastering these deep architecture patterns, sync constraints, log telemetry, and break glass procedures prepares you perfectly for certification.